Well, again, thing is, they know. Many of these people who talks about things, right? They know, but they hold their hand over the papacy. But here's from Chuck Missler.
He opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God. There are 2 billion people on the planet Earth that call God Allah. Protestant commentators had a field day trying to link those many passages in Revelation 17 and 18 and what have you to the Vatican. The libraries are full of theories about the papal overtones of some of those prophecies. Yet it's interesting. Here's one that he opposes himself above all, not just the messenger of God, not just his vicar. No. He is opposing, exalt himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped. I'm not limiting it to Allah, don't misunderstand me, but certainly that's included. That's why it's kind of interesting to discover that the Muslims today are looking for some of them are looking for the last Mahdi.
There we go. So all the Protestant commentators had a field day or something like that. Okay, it's hard to go with word by word, right? It's hard to remember, and my brain is just feels like mushy. Of course, that is the truth in regards to that. All the Protestants knew who the Antichrist was, and it's just interesting when you see people defending or holding their hands over the papacy. Even if they tell you a lot of truth, there's also issues amongst the things. Not actually sure if Chuck Missler ever talked about the Jesuits. But I know they made like Dave Hunt and Chuck Missler made a thing together. But that was on the hall that rides. Oh, sorry, sorry. Sits on the 7 heads of the beast. It's So the beast of the number 666, of course, that would be representing the papacy, because he's riding on his authority. Anyway, sorry, not riding. She's sitting. Sorry, my brain is just. I don't know why I'm feeling. Yeah, I guess it's just downhill on so many levels. Um. So yeah. So that was just a little thing. But yeah, I remember. I think I actually also have it in one of the tabs, although I, you know, bought it long ago in regards of. So I also have it, but it's also on YouTube. It's called Dave Hunt and a dividing line, or space dividing line space, and it's called the Kingdom of Blood. And you have PT1 and PT2 in regards, and yeah, that's the two. And the second, of course, is Dave Hunt, and the first one is Chuck Missler. So the first one is just Chuck Missler in regards to the kingdom of the cult, and the second one is in regards of. It's just interesting that they don't seem, both of them. I know Dave Hunt is like promoting, or was promoting. He's dead now, okay. So but he was promoting that the papacy was the false prophet, which doesn't make any sense because the beast is coming before. They turn things upside down. So sadly, I think even with all his truth and all that he, okay, he could be mistaken as well. But we know there's a lot of Roman agents out there. But maybe he just made a mistake. It's just weird that, and I never heard him say that all the Protestants, like Chuck Missler just said here. But it's nice to the truth tends to slip out here and there, right? And yet they don't confirm it. They just oh yeah. It's like saying all the Protestants writers in regards of I can't remember the word at the moment, but anyway, it was just talking about the papacy and all. Yeah, okay. and so the truth tends to slip out in regards of here and there, like in regards to the Antichrist, and this guy was like going through different things, and then he just put in regards to the, all the Protestants, they were pointing the papacy as the Antichrist and all that, but just mixing it with the rest of the, with other kinds of things that are just bullshit, and then the truth is actually in there, and then just it's disgusting, but that's just how it is, I guess. So much pain. Uh, as a student thought. Anyway, so you had Chuck Missler, The Kingdom of Blood, Part One and Part Two, and yeah. So yeah, and then of course you had this Chuck Missler. He's talking about Mohammedanism, and then it's just interesting, right? That he just goes over and tell us that the Protestants, commentators had a what do heyday or whatever in regards of pointing to the papacy, like and this it's like they were wrong, like just no, they are not wrong, they are correct. So that's great. So yeah, so that was just a little in regards of listening to that, and I'm in jail on Facebook again, so that's a thing. I was doing some other research here and there, and in regards to the 7 day, like if Protestantism wants to base its teaching only on the Bible, it should worship on Saturday. Over 100 years ago, the Catholic Mirror ran a series of articles discussing the right of the Protestant churches to worship on Sunday. The articles stressed that unless one was willing to accept the authority of the Catholic Church to designate the day of worship, the Christians should have worshiped Saturday. When they're right, right? Yeah. I think all the Protestants should keep Sabbath, or Saturday. Bye bye, Roman bullshit institution of and there was another article, I have it somewhere in regards to where they were talking, the Sabbath Sunday controversy, Rome's challenge to the Protestants. I was like, hey, if they're telling the truth, it's the truth, right? Yeah. So it's interesting that a lot of Protestants just, you know, end up keeping Sunday. Um, and this is even from the Roman Catholics. So you have both from the Roman Catholics, and you also have the from inside the Protestantism and all that, which of course many of them are not really Protestants anymore. So most Christians assume that Sunday is the biblical approved day of worship. The Roman Catholic Church protests that indeed it is not. Let's see. Most Christians assume that Sunday is the biblical approved day of worship. The Roman Catholic Church protests that indeed it is not. The Roman Catholic Church itself, without any scriptural authority from God, transferred Christian worship from the biblical Sabbath to Sunday by the command of the pagan Roman Emperor Constantine in 325 AD, and that to try to argue that the change was made in the Bible is both dishonest and a denial of Catholic authority. If Protestants want to base its teaching only on the Bible, it should worship on Saturday. So yeah, I guess it seems to be a little of the same in regards to over 100 years ago, the Catholic Mirror, blah blah blah, ran the thing and all that. Anyway, another witness is not bad, so it's just, yeah, when the papists are right, they are right, right. You have to. You just have to. Oh, I can't post on that. That's kind of do 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 do. And someone, I guess, got offended, so they snitched me out to Facebook to get me in jail book for 30 days. Yeah. Well, I guess most of the forums is banning and censoring and all that. You can't say anything without actually. Uh, oh, I found it and then I lost it again. Yeah, I found the page and then I just lost it again. There we go. Hit the wrong thing. Okay, we have sun going in my eyes at the moment. Oh, wrong, wrong page. I'm still on Facebook here. Just give me a break. So yeah, the sun is out today. So I guess that's good. You know, guess that's not totally bad. It's pretty low on the horizon. So that's yeah. It would be nice to maybe have something that uh didn't make it go directly into my eyes. Although, uh, although it's not that the sun comes out too much, anyway. So anyway, that was one source, but then no one sees the information anyway. So oh well. Didn't I have another? Can't see the thing. Or maybe it's just not updated because it tends to. I don't know. You can't even be on a platform anymore without actually needing to update and all that. Apparently, the other one came above it now. I don't understand that. Or maybe I pushed it on the. No, it seems to have. What? Maybe I fixed that. Let's see here. If Protestants, most Christians assume. Yeah, okay. No, this is from the Baptist Board. Okay. So if Protestantism. Oh, okay. I think I've apparently I've fixed it on the wrong one because of issues in regards of not updating correctly in regards of. Oh man, the sun is heavy. Oh yeah, I do. That's actually right. I do actually have a way to. Uh, that actually helps. Yeah, yeah, that actually works. Ah, it is getting lower, so it is getting a little harder, but yeah, it is actually taking most of it. Most of the sun away, so that's nice. Yeah. So anyway, so we updated that. I guess we did search a little in regards to the Sabbath. I know why it hasn't updated. Just this is disgusting. It's the same thing with Facebook. I don't understand why the internet just ruins more and more and more and more and more. Okay, now it updated it. It's ridiculous in regards to how things are working. So under 100 years ago, in regards of the Catholic, over 100 years ago, the Catholic Mirror ran a series of articles in regards of Sunday and all that, right? So according to this, there's 13 million Christian Sabbath keepers in the world, about 3 million as SDA. According to the Bible Sabbath Association, there are 475 Christian churches of God, large and small, that observe the seventh-day Sabbath, numbering around 300,000 worldwide, with a majority of the United States. Okay. So that's a pretty good amount. So again, not only the SDA are keeping it. That's nice information. Ah, okay. Ah, wow, my brain is just ah. I can't, it just doesn't seem like it can do much anymore. Clearly needs a break. Um, and it goes on further. Let's close that down. Almost 500 years have passed since the 1524 publication of the work that one prominent leader of the 16th Protestant Reformation, Andreas Karlstadt, wrote in defense of the Sabbath doctrine. It was the first work on this subject written by a leader of the Reformation. That's interesting. He actually wrote a book in 1524 in regards of defense. What was that called? Do we have a name for it? Here we go. Andreas Karlstadt won dem Sabbat ungeboten Feiertagen. I don't know. Sad thing is that many of these things haven't even been translated. Und dem Sabbat ungeboten Viertagen. Here we erklären, wie Karlstadt sein Lehrbund dem hochwürdigen Sakrament und anderer achtet und geachtet haben will bei. Yeah, whatever. Maybe an English version, but yeah. The Essentials Karlstadt by Andreas Bo. I have no idea why many of these papers haven't been translated into Danish. Opfer und Priestertum published von dem Sabbat und geboten Feiertagen. Then Luther in 1525 against the heavenly prophets. You have all the conflict, which just seems to be, slanderous or something like that. Then you say, oh well, Karlstadt was like a mystic, and he was like, tainted by this guy and all that and whatnot. And then you push this mystic guy, and then you see Luther apparently was a fan of this guy. It's just nothing about Andreas Karlstadt, in regards of, so it just keeps on going with the bullshit, it seems. Der Sonntag in der frühen. No, okay. Anyway, maybe I can. It's just too much. My brain is just. It's just too much. Apparently, that's what it's called. Apparently, interesting. So I was thinking if he actually had written anything in regards to the Sabbath, because Luther, of course, talks about it, right? So if Luther was talking about it, Andreas Karlstadt must have written about it, but I didn't really have anything. And it seems like it's incredible how much we don't know. We should have known all these things, and all that history has just been forgotten. Yeah, I can't understand why no one would have kept the. Nah. Anyway, there's some more information on that. And Faces of the Reformation, Andreas Bodenstein von Karlstadt. And I guess these papers are from the Lutheran Reformation. Although, of course, be interesting what they actually write. A theological inept reformer. Inept, what does inept means? Is that like what inept meaning? Clumsy, no skill, give me a break. What bullshit, A theological inept reformer who forced sweeping changes upon the Christians in Wittenberg. This is disgusting. This is typical from the Lutherans to a theological inept reformer. Are you kidding me? He was like the greatest of them all in regards of, you gotta be kidding me. Inept often implies complete failure and inadequacy, or hopefully inept defense. Yeah, I know. I don't know what these, but this is just disgusting. They always tend to, you know, to ruin this guy. That's just disgusting. It was like, as far as I can see, it was backstabbed by Luther. Because he went too fast. He was moving too fast. It's really in regards to the Reformation and all that. Karlstadt is to be thanked for so much, and yet it's all put on Luther, right? Oh, Luther this and Luther that, right? Um, so yeah, so there's clearly something in regards of history that has been hidden away also by these Lutherans who either don't want to talk about it and keep it a secret, or if they talk about it, they want to slander him as a, as yeah. So anyway, but apparently I can't handle. This is interesting. So that's some information from them, like theological inept reformer. You gotta be kidding me. He was known as a radical by the Lutherans. Because he went too fast. Luther wanted to stop the progress. He wasn't, in the letter when he came back, he was like, it's not that Castle have done anything wrong, but we shouldn't go so fast because of the weak people, for the sake of the weak. Oh, give me a break with the bullshit. Just typical bullshit. Oh, because of the weak, we shouldn't go. We shouldn't stop the worship of the devil because the weak ones might need to worship the devil. Whatever. Give me a break. Um, this kind of argumentation is absolute rubbish. So yeah, I have a lot of good amount of information on the Sabbath and things in regards of um, Karlstadt and all that. The information is clearly out there. It's just that it needs, yeah, one needs to dig into it. So yeah. Anyway, let's see here what we have here. Probably this guy hasn't written back on YouTube. Um, yeah, disgusting sermon on attacking the Sabbath and promoting Sunday. It's ridiculous. These bullshitters. Absolutely rubbish. And he even knew that there might be coming some rotten tomatoes. Oh, it wouldn't be a tomat or tomatoes. It would be a chair. Like you don't kind of have any tomatoes. I remember this old woman and this papist came in to speech on the podium, and she threw her chair at him and they throw him out. This poopery bullshit, Romanist nonsense. Get out of our congregation. Um, yeah, it's disgusting, absolute disgusting. You don't want that. But yeah, Andreas Bodenstein, is one of my favorite Protestants from that time. I like, Zwingli is also, all of them have their own mistakes and all that, right? So, but yeah, Zwingli is also, then you have John Knox. John Knox, the Thundering Scot, So, if I should make a list of Protestant favorites, Andreas Karlstadt would probably be number one. And again, doesn't mean that he doesn't have any issues. No, sure, every Protestant, had some issues. Of course, they're coming out from this Roman Catholic system, right? Number two, of favorite Protestants would be. Actually, I don't actually know in regards of that Norwegian guy, if actually, but at least I would, Andreas Karlstad would be number one. John Knox probably number two. Swinkley would be in the list. Yeah, it's not like Luther also did some good things, right? But he surely had his issues with the cookie bullshit, and he ended up seemingly, trying to stop the progress and it really, now today, so-called, Luther, well, so-called, proclaiming Lutherans usually keep to the cookie Jesus, when actually a lot of Lutherans actually did not do that. So yeah, and there's probably also some of the Anabaptists that I would. I love the Hutterites, but that's a group, really. If there's any specific group in that would be the Hutterites. As I really like those. Um, so although I haven't met them in real life and all that, and they do have their own issues, and of course these last 500 years has, um, you know. So, but yeah, well, whatever. I don't know, it's incredible. I just don't feel up to. Of course, I haven't eaten some of the bad food these couple of days, so that's good. Uh, well, I did eat some chips, and some peanuts, but besides that, it has been fruit, vegetables. We still have some fruit. Just have some oranges. I actually have some oranges down here. So that's good, but I don't feel so good. Well, that could be, of course, different things overall. It's just totally a mess on so many levels. Anyway, so we have orange juice, and I have one of those very sweet things, and I think that's pretty much it. Maybe a little of the spice, and I could make some hot coffee or something like that, if anything. Uh, yeah, there's of the Sabbath. There's a couple of hours left of the Sabbath. I think it's like 4 o'clock or something like that. The sun goes down, and the sun is clearly still up. Like, you know, it's hitting me at the moment. So, and the the charging devices that is connected to the solar panel is running 129 watts at the moment into the unit. So and at least it gives some power in regards to the sun. It's not much wind out there, but yeah. So whatever. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Yeah. Ah. And I hopefully I can get on a juice fast again and drop some kilos. I really need that. I really need that heavily. Oh, heavily. Yeah. Index Theologicus. Hmm. Okay, so here they have one dem Sabbat und Geboten Feiertagen, but apparently you can't just read the PDF because, of course, that would be too easy, right? You know, um, it's this bullshit apparently of ordering things, and if, instead of just making it available for everybody, it has to be you know yeah. Andreas Karlstad or Andreas Bodenstein, Bishopry, blah blah blah, educated and so forward. I mean, yeah, Karlstad soon fled and began to dress as a peasant, right? Calling himself Brother Andreas, right? Oh, that's so evil, right? Anyway, yeah. And denouncing all academics, degrees, and distinctions. In 1523, he moved to Orlandmunde, where he introduced his own program for reform. I guess apparently it doesn't seem like he believed in child baptism. So And it says, influenced by the mystic Johann Tauler, he published a stream of pamphlets full of mystical notations. I have no idea where do you find all those mystical notations. And he dramatically encountered Luther at Jena in August of the next year when Luther tossed a golden coin at him in token of an open field. Not sure, about a fight or something like that, or written back and forth. As Luther left, Karlstadt preached against him amid pealing bells. And Johann, then you push in Johann Tauler, right? And then you're told that he was, Tauler's sermons, written in the Middle High German, was valued highly by Martin Luther. So wait a minute, why are you saying that Karlstadt was like a mystic, this and that, and all that, when it actually is Martin Luther that seems to be valuing these? It just Anyway, it just seems like there's so much misinformation on, and now I lost the what happened to. Hmm, where did Karlstadt go? Oh, there we go. Okay, it's a page of multiple people apparently. So again, when you read Karlstadt and all that, you really have to be careful about the Lutherans because the Lutherans just doesn't have much positive things to say about Karlstadt, which I think is pretty much the golden nugget of the Reformation that has been hidden away, pretty much. Not inside, it's not like it's just this thing, this guy, and I guess not only him but others that also are standing for more truth has been hidden away today. So that's disgusting. The Luther's Reformation, the Swarmer and the Nun, the Swarmer. In this session, this is from a Lutheran. In this session, we will see how a new front of enemies to the gospel opens up in Wittenberg with the radical reformers like Andreas Karlstadt. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, he was like, so he was an enemy of the gospel. Yeah. And also a page I had with information that, like, from, excuse me, from Andreas Karlstad, that, yeah, disgusting. It's just disgusting to see all the lies, all the deceptions, and that is going on. It's just disgusting. Oh yeah. YouTube wants to use your microphone for what? I haven't made a video on. Let's see here. Luther's Reformation. You might be able to clean something off the Lutheran teaching in regards of when they talk badly about Karlstadt, like, he wanted to keep the Sabbath. Yeah, and Luther seemingly actually as well turned around on that. Von dem Sabbat und Geboten Feiertagen. Karlstadt, 1524. Mhm. It's just like Luther ended up stopping you know, Karlstadt's movement in the direction, right? If it hadn't been for Luther, most Protestants would probably have been keeping the Sabbath, which is kind of, you know, where was that information I had? Maybe I lost it. I had like a tab where it was like great information and things. I'm not sure where that went. Um, there we go. This is a great information on, see, until how. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's Papacy here. Let's put this on gap so the information doesn't. But overall, the truth. Um, apparently, this is too much for gap to, which is yeah. I should fix my forum for like Andreas Karlstad information in regards to the Reformation. Um, probably because I can just copy everything I want from one place to another. I guess I can copy the link at least. That's a pretty nice link in regards to things. Explains pretty much a good amount of the. Of course, the problem is that the truth has just been, if you could just figure out what actually had happened, you could condense it in and concentrate it and and just give a huge, a quick resume of the things. But because of all the bullshit that is out there, it's kind of, and then Lutherans are not helping on it. That's for sure. Anyway, here we have something in regards to Steve
So the
Peterson.
Catholic Church is by far one of the largest institutions of any kind in the entire world. It's a lot more than just a network of parish churches. It's a whole universe of hospitals and schools and charities, publishing houses, newspapers, and a whole lot more. And that's not a bad thing as long as these schools, hospitals, and so on reflect real Christianity. But do they? Officially, the Catholic Church stands against crimes like abortion, euthanasia, mutilating children to make them transgender. But a disturbing number of Catholic leaders don't seem terribly bothered with upholding their own religion's doctrines. Michael Hickborn is president of the Lepanto Institute, which seeks to combat enemies of the Catholic Church from both outside and, even more importantly, from within the Church itself. And the number of enemies within the Catholic Church is vast. Michael's research has revealed that Bishop Timothy Sr. of Philadelphia has been lying to other church leaders about the Catholic Campaign for Human Development. Bishop Sr. says that this campaign doesn't fund organizations whose practices violate church teaching, but in fact, this is a complete lie. For instance, the campaign has given hundreds of thousands of dollars to a group called Congregations United to Serve Humanity, or CUSH. The group is located in Wisconsin. CUSH has worked to collect and distribute so-called banned books to libraries. These banned books aren't banned, of course. No. In reality, they're just quasi-pornographic books with a gay or tranny agenda aimed right at children. Now, parents all over the country have been working hard, pushing these books out of their children's public libraries and public schools and classrooms, but groups like CUSH are working to spread them as widely as possible, and it turns out they're using Catholic believers' donations to do it. Michael Hickborn is blowing the lid off of this story. Nobody else will report on it. We will. He joins us now. Michael, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks so much for having me on, Stu. It's really disheartening because I've been working on this, exposing what the Catholic Campaign for Human Development has been funding for 15 years now. I've been calling on bishops to conduct a third-party investigation. Bishop Strickland was very much on board with trying to help with that, but now he's been sidelined. And the fact of the matter is that the vast majority of bishops seem willing to just turn a blind eye and continue to rake in millions of dollars to give to organizations like CUSH.
How has Strickland been sidelined?
Bishop Strickland was recently removed from his diocese by Pope Francis. He was told on Friday that he is no longer the Bishop of Tyler, Texas.
So how is this Bishop Sr. able to say that the campaign doesn't fund organizations like this, but in fact, these donations are going directly toward indoctrinating, specifically children, with transgender propaganda inside the church?
Well, absolutely. And Bishop Sr., he's either completely blind to what's really happening, or he is absolutely lying about what the Catholic Campaign for Human Development is financing. I sent, back in September, a letter to every single bishop of a diocese in the United States with 5 samples of the various reports that we have put together on the Catholic Campaign for Human Development, proving 100% that these groups are in bed with Marxists, that they are promoting abortion, contraception, homosexuality, transgenderism. Some of them are even actually advocating for the occult. But in these little sample letter or reports that we sent to the bishops, Bishop Sr. responded to every single bishop by saying, "Oh, you Catholics can be sure that the Catholic Campaign for Human Development does not finance organizations that are acting against church teaching. But our reports are solid. We got all of the evidence, all of the information from primary sources. These organizations say of themselves, yes, we're rallying for abortion, or we're celebrating the Transgender Day of Remembrance." Whatever it is, these organizations say it themselves. So Bishop Timothy Sr. is either being completely duplicitous, or he's been duped completely by his own staff.
Where is the congregation on this? I mean, how widely known is it that they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Completely by his either being...
Oh my gosh, Chief. some information here. I have the organization's name. You have the Depondo grade, religious affiliation, fidelity birth control, fidelity LGBT activism. Interesting. You have Adventist Relief Agency. Hmm. I guess it's in regards of where in regards of where it's meant to be safe in regards of putting your money. Fertilities, birth control, fertilities, LGBT activism, fertility Marxism, fertility heresy. Uh-huh. The Adventist Relief Agency is apparently not no yes, but you have a religious affiliation, faith-based Adventist Relief Agency. I'm not sure. Maybe there's some kind of other, but that's interesting. A little.
These organizations say it themselves. So Bishop Timothy Sr. is either being completely duplicitous, or he's been duped completely by his own staff.
Where is
So I guess I don't know where this this information is. They didn't really seem to say, but you can apparently see some of the organizations which I guess you can donate
Duplicitous.
money to.
Or
And,
he's been duped completely by his own staff.
where is the congregation on this? I mean, how widely known is it that they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for example, this Congregations United to Serve Humanity, in order to bring these banned books and then widely distribute them to children?
Well, the CCHD has been funding the Congregations United to Serve Humanity since 2012. Since that time, they've given this organization $247,000, and that's in reported money. I know that there was a grant for 2022 and 2023 that they received from the CCHD that hasn't yet been disclosed. But they've been around for a very long time, and the local diocese in Milwaukee, where they're from, there are 2 parishes that are actually members of this organization, and one of the deacons from one of those parishes sits on the board of directors. So they know fully well what this organization's all about.
And the parishioners know this as well?
Well, at least the ones that are members of Cush. I do